The following is a sports presentation of the Charlotte Hornets. The Chicago Bulls march on Charlotte with a team that has a chance to do what no NBA team has ever done before, win 70 games. That campaign is spearheaded by arguably the best pair of players to play on one team, the game's ultimate star, Michael Jordan, and the best partner a star could ask for, Scottie Pippen. In their way tonight, the Charlotte Hornets and a formidable pairing of their own, Hornets Iron Man Larry Johnson and his high-scoring battery mate, Glen Rice. It's the Hornets and the Bulls next, live from the Hive. Hornets are set to go. It's Jess Kersey, Mark Wunderlich, and Leroy Richardson as the officials. The Bulls have a big edge in this series, but the Hornets have won 3 out of 4 here.
Well, you're going to see some interesting matchups. Glen Rice is going to start on Michael Jordan. They don't want Kendall Gill to get early foul trouble. That means Larry Johnson will be guarding Scottie Pippen, who will play some point guard tonight for the Chicago Bulls.
Here is Rodman. Longley in the post. Moving on, Parrish. And the Hornets capture the game's first rebound, despite the protestation of Dennis Rodman. We're underway. He wants them all, doesn't he?
Yes, and that's the attitude to have if you're going to be a good rebounder.
Back the other way. This is Glen Rice. Rice! You want to see Glen get a good start. He's been, I guess you could call 18 points a game a struggle. It's a great night for most players, but Glen averaging 23 has been down a little bit. Here's Pippen. From the top to time.
That's the matchup with a smile on Scottie's face, and he's already talking to Larry Johnson, so it'll be interesting to watch those two match up tonight and see who gets the better of the other in word and deed.
Kendall Gill and Michael Jordan matched up in backcourt. Rice is posted up on Ron Harper. Johnson to the top, matched up with one of the better defensive players in the league. Here comes Rice. The turnaround counts, plus a foul.
That's a real good matchup down low. Glen Rice at 6'8" has about 3 inches over Ron Harper, and if Ron's going to allow him to get it that deeply, Glen Rice can be effective.
Rice has all 4 of the Hornets' points.
As you see Glen Rice get it, he turns right to the basket, no dribble, and Scottie Pippen is coming down, so Glen Rice will be able to find Larry Johnson open in series to come.
It's Glen Rice 5, Chicago 2.
Now, Scottie Pippen bringing the ball up, you're going to see a lot of that. In fact, his coaches are trying to get him to think like a point guard. We thought it would be Michael playing the part, but they wanted to be Scottie Pippen.
Rodman tries to get the stick back. Johnson trying to tap it out of control, and Longley obliges and gives the ball back to the Hornets.
Well, you see the effect that Dennis Rodman has on his teammates. Luke Longley now trying also to tap the ball to himself. That's probably something that players don't do to the extent that Dennis Rodman doesn't.
Kendall Gill struggling there with Michael Jordan. Throws it through the leg with Harper. And Glen Rice bails it all out, makes it all good with his 7th point of the game. 7-2, Charlotte.
And Kendall gets an assist.
Yes, he does.
But you see a little strategy. There'll be pressure put on Kendall all night, and not just from Michael Jordan.
Here's Rice guarding Pippen. That's going to be a tough job. Goes baseline with it and stepped out.
You know, it'll be a tough job, but again, one thing that Glen Rice has going for him is the height. At 6'8", he can really stay in front of Scottie Pippen and force Scottie to have to shoot over a much taller target.
Kendall Gill back the other way. Kendall struggling in backcourt with Jordan.
Now, this is special for Kendall. Everybody talked about Kendall wanting to be like Michael Jordan. He's going to see maybe more of Michael than he wants to tonight.
He's going to get a chance to find out what it's like there. Glen Rice misses his first shot. Rebound comes out to Harper.
And Harper has been playing a little bit better.
Jordan for 3. And pursuing the rebound is Parrish, and it is going to be last off Parrish and out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball.
Again, the value of Dennis Rodman, he doesn't secure the rebound, but he does make sure that his team gets the possession of the ball again.
And make sure that the official knows who touched it last. High pick and roll, Longley and Jordan hiding behind a screen provided by Longley. Zedek with the rebound. George Zedek had 8 points in Detroit Saturday night. Responded well to sitting out the Portland game. Here comes Gill back the other way.
Haven't seen the Hornets. This is the first time going down inside to the big people.
Here comes Zedek with the hook. Little flip that time, compensated, and we got a whistle and a foul. Loose ball foul on George Zedek, trying to get the ball away from Dennis Rodman.
Loose ball foul probably occurs because George thought that he should have made the shot. You really want young players not to complicate one play that doesn't go right with making a bad play. He missed a good shot. That's okay. Don't foul because you missed it.
Still 7-2, Charlotte in the lead. Chicago had a strange one last night with Houston. They were tied 2-2 with 7 to play in the first quarter before they exploded on Houston. Here's Pippen. So far, he scored all of their points.
Yeah, he has all 4 of the Chicago points, and you can expect him to call his number a lot, and he'll get his offensive game going, and then the other players will pick it up.
Chicago decides to send a trap at Gill that time for the first time tonight.
You know, I think if you look at Michael Jordan's shoes, it looks like he should be out in the rain.
Down low, Johnson. 2 on the shot clock. Going to leave it short. Pippen with it.
And bringing it up, and you will see that the guy who gets the rebound, particularly if it's a Pippen, and even in some cases Rodman, they bring the ball up court.
Pippen in the corner. Campton there on Johnson.
Good help by Chief.
Harper to Longley at the post. 8 on the shot clock. Pippen for 3. Bounces off high. Longley can't get it back down. Parrish right through the hairdo of Dennis Rodman. Here comes Rice. Whoa, threw it away. Longley with it. Jordan in the open floor.
Man, he can still finish, folks.
Yes, he can.
Now, what you didn't see offensively, and you won't see as much after the starting lineup of the Chicago Bulls, you won't see as much of that triangle offense as you used to.
7-6. We've got a whistle and a foul on Jordan. Kendall gave him nice action on the shot fake and got Jordan skyward.
With Kendall using the momentum of himself and Michael Jordan, he comes to a real good stop. Right there, nice stop, fake. Michael bought it every bit.
7-6, Hornets in the lead, and another steal. Harper, bang, and Chicago moves back out in front.
And Kendall's a little upset. I think he's upset that Glen Rice didn't come stronger to the ball, but it was not a good pass from Kendall. There's a double again. Jordan switches off with Harper. 6-0
run, 4 of those 6 off turnovers. Johnson now trying to get the ball in the post up. Gets it inside and dunks. Larry Johnson puts the Hornets out in front 9-8.
That's a real strong move by Larry Johnson. And Kendall actually picked his dribble up a little too soon that time, Steve, but Larry made it work.
1 minute away from the halfway mark here in the first quarter. Here's Scottie Pippen. Jordan alone. Michael Jordan for 4. He had 38 last night against Houston. 10-9, Chicago out in front.
But one of the things you don't want to see when you're playing against Michael Jordan is his jump shot start to fall in early. If he's got his jump shot going on the evening, you're in big trouble.
He hasn't even shown you the other stuff yet. Scottie Pippen gets the foul. And we got a timeout on the court. Pippen picking up his first. It's the 3rd team foul against the Bulls, who lead. Turn out a spot if it's there. And, you know, you put these guys on 10 days. You know, they come back and bargain with you.
Yeah.
So you're not hurting them. Okay. Bulls ahead by 1 near the halfway mark of the first quarter. And just a reminder, you can have a chance to win $300 in groceries from Harris Teeter and their 3-point payoff. Register at your nearest Harris Teeter. You could be a winner. Tonight we're going to be playing for $900. We'll do it in the third quarter, show you how to play. Just stop by your nearest Harris Teeter and play along with us.
Bulls had 5 more attempts, 5 of 12 from the floor. The Hornets only 4 of 7. So we talked early on how the Bulls limit your opportunities, your possessions, as you see the Chief Bull.
The Chief player.
I'm telling you, I mean, I hope, fellas, we can get a shot of those shoes. They look like, what do you call those things that you know, those little half shoe boots that you wear?
Galoshes or something?
No, there's a type of shoe that people are wearing now like that. Look at that, because it's patent leather, the black stuff.
And you really can't see the, you know, that's glossy stuff.
Yeah, it's patent leather.
Yeah. All right, Johnson. I call it glossy stuff. He calls it leather.
Patent leather.
Oh, patent, I'm sorry. 3 points for Larry Johnson. Elster on the line for 2, ties it at 10. Johnson, second leading scorer on the Hornets.
Oh, a little pressure by Charlotte. That's good. As Zedek has overcompensated, he's got to hustle back. That's tough for George.
He's guarding Rodman,
who you don't expect to get a lot of offensive looks.
Rodman serves as the post. Here comes Harper around the horn. Longley is ready for the dunk. Luke Longley makes it 12-11. Bulls in front here by 1.
Well, it makes it so difficult when a player penetrates, even if it's Ron Harper. But you almost want to challenge him to finish. He hasn't been at the top of his game for the past 2 or 3 years. Make him finish as opposed to switching off of him.
Here's Kendall Gill, attempt at 3. Out from the top. Zedic chases down the rebound. Kendall takes another. This one goes for 2 just inside the line. KG puts the Hornets in front by 1.
Important that he makes that jump shot, because if he makes that jump shot, then Chicago will have to think twice about doubling off of him.
If he misses that jump shot, his teammates are going to say, hey, why don't you throw it into me?
Well, Chicago's going to leave him all night. There won't be anybody to throw it into.
Harper with a dunk, showing a little of that old flash for the ACL injury with the Clippers.
Now, he finishes that one. You want to make him finish, but you can't give him baseline.
14-13, Bulls in front. Lead change in every bucket here. Here's Rice. Rice to the cutting Kendall Gill. Parrish picks up the loose change and scores.
Tough shot.
Chief with 2. He's been playing well lately, getting more minutes as he continues his march to track down Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Hornets by 1, 15-14. And Jordan travel.
No.
Save that on your home VCR, friends.
You won't see that much, folks.
Jess Kersey called it, and he did it in front of the Chicago bench.
And Jordan is looking like he doesn't believe it.
So that rule was taken out of my rule book a long time ago. He's still jawing with Jess Kersey.
I don't travel.
Parrish, low post. Rice comes out and rises. And finish. Rice with 9. Hornets by 3, 17-14. Whistle and a hand check on Glen Rice.
And I know fans will say that's such a small foul to call, and it really is, but it's consistently called. You know it's going to be called.
Well, officials are putting an added emphasis on that hand check out around the perimeter, but strangely enough, as we saw them in preseason, they were not putting an awful lot of emphasis on contact in the lane.
Well, remember who called preseason.
That's true. Jordan for 2. Michael Jordan has 6 first quarter points. Bulls cut the Hornets lead to 1.
Here's the pressure.
And Charlotte now needs to take a timeout, a 20-second timeout at the 4:35 mark, because they were surprised by the pressure.
You should never be surprised by the pressure from anybody, but particularly from the Chicago Bulls team.
Bulls have thrown a few wrinkles defensively at the Hornets here tonight. Well, kids, sign up now for Junior Hornets and join the team. You'll get a jersey, gym bag, playbook, and NBA trading cards. Send a check for $14 plus your name, address, and don't forget your shirt size, too. The Junior Hornets, 100 Hive Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28217, and you see the fine people who will bring you the Junior Hornets program.
You see George Zedic, that's kind of a catch-22 as far as pressure is concerned. You don't want too many players in the backcourt trying to help you bring the ball up, because each player will bring a defender, but you have to have 3 people so you can remember what's going on.
Well, Hornets have kept Rodman out of it as far as the rebounding is concerned. He has just 1. Center position hasn't hurt them that badly. Longley has the only buckets from that position. Kendall Gill working the perimeter. Glen Rice for 3. No. That would have brought about a new team record had he hit it. Ball goes through Jordan's hands and out of bounds. Mark Wunderlich said it did not touch Kendall Gill on its way out. So it's going to be Hornets ball with 21 on the shot clock.
Well, you see how aggressively the Chicago Bulls play passing lanes. They look for the interception that can lead to a fast break bucket.
Michael Adams getting off the bench. He's getting ready to come in. Glen Rice looking for Johnson in the post. There's the double from Longley, meaning Zedic or Parrish is open. Here's Zedic to the hole.
Good play.
George Zedic now, as all 5 starters are in the book for the Hornets, who lead by 3.
It's a fine play for Larry Johnson because he was doubled very big and had a tough time seeing over. Offensive foul.
I don't know what kind of shot that was.
Foul.
Longley says, I'm not left-handed, and here's why.
Well, he just clears out. Tried to make a nice little nifty move, but he clears out, and the ref got it immediately.
Michael Adams, you see, is in the game. Robert Parrish is out. The Hornets get a little smaller, and Larry Johnson returns to his more conventional position of power forward. Adams out the last 20 games with a strained hamstring on the left side. Here comes Rice, up and under, offensive foul. Glen Rice with the offensive foul. He's got 2.
Ron Harper holding his ground, and that's early 2 for Glen Rice, and you don't want to see that because he has the same shooting touch that Dale Curry has, but Glen Rice does a few more things than Dale can do, and he can post up when Dale Curry doesn't play that well down on the post.
So Dale Curry going out defensively to check who? It looks like it's going to be Pippen. And Gill moves off on Jordan.
Well, and that's what the Hornets try to avoid, having Gill on Jordan as quickly, but you can expect now that the Bulls will try to exploit this matchup.
Pippen, hand check by Curry.
And sooner than I thought.
That's a third team foul. The 3:23 mark. 1 to go each side before the penalty. Rice, before he went out, had taken 6 of the Hornets' 13 shots. And he made all but one of them. Here's Jordan from the corner. Michael with 8. Only one has been a dunk. 19-18, Hornets by 1. Approaching the 3-minute mark. Curry in the corner behind a screen. Jordan rises over Johnson for the rebound. Starts the break. It's 3-on-2. Here comes Rodman.
Missed the jump shot, and they put the ball down the court without putting it on the floor as good as anybody that plays basketball. Sometimes it won't be a dribble. It'll just be 3 passes in a bucket.
8th lead change in this quarter. 20-19. Bulls in the lead. Gill working the perimeter. Takes it in. Leaves it short, but got fouled. Looks like it's Longley. Luke Longley with the foul. We got a timeout on the court with the score. Chicago 20, Charlotte 19. They are 20-19. They lead the Hornets here with 2:33 left to go in the first quarter. Larry Johnson with 4 points. Glen Rice with 2 fouls on the bench. He leads all scorers with 9. And Kendall Gill's getting ready to go to the foul line to finish after Luke Longley's first foul of the game.
Well, you want to see the Hornets start getting a little more inside production. I guess they will have to with Glen Rice going to the bench.
He won't be there long. Just that his first half rest comes a little earlier. Rice has a great resiliency about his game. He knows when he's in trouble, he'll stay away. You see Bill Wennington in the ball game now. Toni Kukoc has joined the lineup as well.
Most great scorers are like that. They understand you can't score from the bench.
That's right.
Don't get in foul trouble.
So Jordan gets his first rest of the night. Harper at the top of the floor. Here's Kukoc. Pippen down the lane.
You see the set is not the triangle. Spread the floor and use the cutters.
22-21. Michael Adams penetrates. Dishes to Curry, and Curry puts one up over Pippen. Del Curry, first bucket off the bench for the Hornets tonight, and it's 23-22 Charlotte.
Not a familiar place for Del to score, but a nice shot.
Adams in trouble with a big post up to Harper. Wennington can hit that shot, but does it there. Zedick with the rebound.
And Toni Kukoc hasn't started the game. He's played in all 29. He's averaging over 11 a game, so you got to really watch Kukoc.
Harper pokes it away from Michael Adams. It's one of those possessions Gill was talking about at the outset of the game where you have it, but you don't get a shot.
Bulls playing very smart basketball. You have Ron Harper being guarded by Michael Adams, a size advantage. Chicago goes right to it, and they use Kukoc to make the pass, and he's got an advantage over Kerr.
Harper with 6, Chicago in the lead again, 24-23. Johnson sees Zedick getting position on Kukoc, and Zedick scores. Smart play by the rookie.
It's a great play by Larry Johnson. Recognize where the double comes from, and Zedick runs right to the basket where you're supposed to go when your man leaves you.
Either team's been up by more than 3. Pippen down low to Harper, again posted up on Adams. Gill comes to help. We got an illegal defense, I believe, against Charlotte.
George Zedick got a little far over in the lane. He crossed the halfway part of the lane while he had Wennington out above the 3-point line.
Just a reminder, stay with us at halftime for the Carolina Ford Dealers halftime report. Jerry Valancourt updates you on all the NBA action around the league. Kendall Gill comes out. Matt Geiger is on. There's Steve Kerr as the NBA's best 3-point percentage mark.
Well, what they do now, you pull Derek Curry out and let him play guard now. You take him out of that forward situation.
Kerr gives off to the corner. The 3-pointer by Kukoc, boarded by Curry. Dell up the floor, crosses to Adams. He stepped out. Michael Adams with the turnover.
It's looking to run it out, and Del Curry did find an open Michael Adams. I think Michael was ready to start that streak of his back up again.
Yes, he was. He had a streak broken recently by Dana Barros. 79 consecutive games for a 3-pointer. There's the turnover charge. Chicago scored 8 off their turnovers, off the Hornets' turnovers. They're working on points 9 and 10 here. Pippen for 3. Kukoc for the rebound. And he'll finish. They may get more than 2 on this possession. Kukoc for 2. That puts the Bulls out in front 26-25.
It's an extremely tough matchup for Charlotte with Toni Kukoc at 6'10", or 6'11", and he'll just out-rebound Dell Curry because he has about 5 inches of height over Dell Curry. Toni Kukoc averages 11.2 a game, and Kerr averages 7.4 a game, so you get almost 20 points from those 2 guys off the bench, and they're both on the floor right now.
Michael Adams moves the ball very quickly against pressure, gives up the dribble. Final half minute of this first quarter, led by Chicago by 2. 27-25. Adams now just trying to get his sea legs back there. Heads down the hole, tries to draw contact, and has it knocked out with 5 on the shot clock.
Tough play for Michael Adams. He wants to get a shot. I think he wants to feel that he's offensively involved, but there wasn't much for him to go into that time.
9-second differential, shot to game. You see them both. Bottom of your screen. Here's Geiger. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Curry, it'll count if it goes, but no, it didn't hit anything, so the shot clock expires, and the Bulls will have it back with 8 seconds to play in this first quarter.
Another one of those possessions that you don't get a shot.
Judd Buechler and Michael Jordan trying to get themselves into the ball game. They've racked up 2 more seconds on the clock now. And in comes Darren Hancock for the Hornets as Zedek checks out. Wennington headed to the bench.
Buechler is a great shooter. You see when the ball goes up front, they may look for him to get this last shot. He's at the top of your screen in the corner.
Kukoc to handle. Kukoc down the lane. Pippen penetrates. Geiger has to come over and help. And this one will not count. First quarter comes to an end. Chicago edges by Charlotte by 2 after 1. 27-25 at the high. All right. So in other words, get to it. Let's take a look at our Bojangles hustle stats here after 1. Pretty close. Rebounds even. 2 Chicago steals, both leading to buckets. And the Bulls lead not only on the hustle stats from Bojangles, but they lead on the scoreboard here after 1. 27-25. Steve Martin, Gil McGregor at courtside, and our studio crew's with us too. Jerry Valancourt on site here at the high for the 290th consecutive sellout.
Fine first quarter for Charlotte, certainly much better than Houston showed last night, and staying in this game, and that's all you want to ask right now.
Adams, Curry, Rice, Parrish, and Geiger in the lineup to start the second. Randy Brown in the lineup with Jordan, Kerr, Kukoc, and Wennington. Curry misses his second shot of this game. Here comes Kukoc back the other way.
Took that one rather quickly.
Hornets shooting 55%. Chicago 54% through 1. Jordan over Rice.
Good deep by Glenn. He gives Michael a much bigger target to shoot over.
Geiger cuts through and dunks.
Nice catch by Geiger, and he ducked under the defense. Very good that time for the dunk. That's a nice play.
Hornets tie it up at 27 all. The first minute of play here in the second quarter. Bulls and Hornets will meet 4 times this season. Chicago won the season opener in Chicago.
And the Bulls don't run that triangle offense. They spread the floor. A lot of spacing. All their passes are about 8-10 feet apart.
Wennington wide open in the corner. Bill Wennington for 2. Chicago back out in front 29-27.
And we talked about winning the bench in the center situation. There's a lot of bench players on the floor right now for the Bulls. The Hornets have to take advantage of that.
Key stretch here for Charlotte as Gill and Johnson sit out on the bench. Michael Adams makes his comeback.
You might want to see him post Parrish up a little bit. He's out there. Make him useful. Get him to be a part of your offense.
Right now they've got Adams and Parrish lifted. Geiger turns and misses Jordan with a rebound. Up court quickly, Kukoc. Randy Brown. Adams fakes the double. Wennington makes himself available, and Parrish gets the rebound.
Hornets very fortunate on that one. Wennington was wide open for the shot. He just missed it.
Chief already has 5 boards. Geiger again posted up on Kukoc. The save on Wennington off the turnover.
I mean, I don't mind you looking for Geiger for your offense down low, but I think it may get better for Paris.
Ooh, Kerr makes the Hornets pay for that turnover. 14 points unofficially off turnovers here for the Bulls. Out of their total of 32, and it's their biggest lead of the game. 5 points.
So those are possessions that the Hornets aren't getting a shot. The Bulls are getting points.
Parrish off the glass nicely for his 4th point of the game. Hornets trail here by 3, 32-29. Here's Wennington, and he thought that in a replay of that last possession against New York last year, only the roles were reversed, right? You thought Jordan was going to, and he passed to Wennington for the bucket.
Okay.
That time they played it in reverse, and that's why Michael did that play, and Wennington didn't. You didn't buy that, did you, Gil?
Oh, well, you know, I was going to say you should never leave your feet to pass her, but I've said it before.
Here's Rice. Posted up on Jordan. They get the double team, and it doesn't matter. Rice now in double figures with 11, and the Hornets close to within 1.
Well, obviously the Hornets decided not to post up Geiger again, to go with another player on the post up, and it was a good decision. And not that we're knocking Matt Geiger's low post play, but he's not your #1 low post option.
Turnover Chicago as Kerr, 2nd straight possession now for Chicago without a shot, and the Hornets now have a chance to retake the lead.
Make sure the spacing's correct. Now you have a lot of closeness between Curry and Adams.
Here's Rice again in the post-up. Kukoc is the man who has been elected to double. Rice is weak with the shot, and Kerr comes back with it.
That's a tough shot. He was shooting a long-range jump shot, falling away. That's a tough shot to make.
Jordan now posts up on Rice. Passes across to Wennington, gets a good look. And Wennington has 4. 34-31 Chicago.
That's what Bill Wennington is a mid-range jump shooter, not a power center at all, but he can make the 8-foot jump shot.
Now Curry for Geiger, turns squarely on Kukoc. Brown steals the ball.
Now, how many times have the Hornets gone to the low post play with Geiger, and how many times have they gotten anything out of it? I think they're 0 for 3.
That's the 9th turnover for the Hornets. Here comes Kukoc, and he travels, so it's matched by a turnover going the other way.
Now, you want to get the ball to Matt Geiger, but he's almost good to get the ball whenever a pick has been set and he's moving to the ball. If you just post him up and try to go inside, that is not his strong suit.
Hornets don't feel that there's a defensive deficiency with Toni Kukoc, and they think it's a mismatch. Here's Adams for 3. So Michael Adams' first shot is in the books. Got that out of his system and is ready to go.
That'll be the last one.
Oh, well. He's 4th, or actually was, I think he's around 5th now. 3-point makes in NBA history. As Wennington misses here, but he's 1st in 3-point attempts, despite the absence. Adams working the perimeter, looking for Curry. Kerr doing a good job shutting that off. Now Curry gets him on his sleeve. Nice pass across. Wennington deflects, and the Hornets will get it with 6 on the shot clock.
Tough play because the Bulls are doubling with very big people, and Del Curry has a tough time passing over a much larger player.
Timeout for the Hornets with 7:25 left in the first half. It's the Bulls over the Hornets by 3. Get the kids away. Hey, he got it done last night for New Jersey, and he's starting to get it done there for the Nets. 7-6 presence. Hornets here by 3. Or rather, Hornets trail by 3 here in the first half. 7:23 left. Ball whistles through the ear of Michael Jordan. Luckily intended again, Gil, for Matt Geiger inside.
It's just not working, and not that you don't continue to look for it, but you may look for it in a different mode. You want Matt to be the trigger man to look for another passer.
Del Curry's shot was partially blocked, but the shot clock was expiring. Chicago gets the ball in time, and here comes Randy Brown. Jordan measuring Rice, just like that.
You tell you whenever he's shooting his jump shot, it's just not doubly difficult to guard, triply difficult to guard. And the problem now that we have is that Scottie Pippen is getting so much rest.
That's Chicago's biggest lead of 5. Here's Curry looking for Geiger again. Geiger spins away from Kukoc, and that's probably why they want to go to that. Foul is going to be on Kukoc. That will be his first.
It is probably why they want to go to that move, Steve, but now they're 1 of 5 and getting something out of that move.
Del Curry, Michael Adams come out, Kendall Gill, Larry Johnson come in, Dennis Rodman. Well, I see what you're hinting at broadly then.
I mean, you do it, but it may not be your main menu.
Randy Brown is out. Dennis Rodman is in. And Michael Jordan is telling Glen Rice with that move.
Well, we saw difficulty when Kendall Gill tried to inbound the ball to Glen Rice. On that move, the Bulls stole it and scored. Now, they almost got one out of this, so obviously there's not the kind of communication with getting the ball in bounds as you need to have.
They have 2 steals for scores already tonight. Johnson looking inside for Rice. Rice measuring Jordan and score.
Good matchup there.
Glen Rice with 13. He has the range to get over Jordan, and the Hornets trail by 3.
And he knows how to post people up and play offense. That's a good decision.
Timeout called here by Chicago. Let's see if it's a 20 or a full. Looks like it's going to be a full. They're all sitting down over there at the 6:30 mark. Here in the first half, the Bulls want to talk it over. Their lead is 3.
6:30 to go here at the Hive. The Hornets down by 3 on Chicago, but this is something that's working for Charlotte. Take Michael Jordan down low. Glen Rice shows that he can score on Michael. That's one way to make Michael Jordan less effective offensively, force him to play some D.
Rice, a leading scorer for the Hornets with 13. He has 2 fouls. Jordan has 1 with 10 points. Chicago has a 3-point lead, 36-33.
Haven't seen the triangle looked at hardly any tonight by Chicago.
Michael Jordan says, I don't need it. Really don't. 12 points. Give Chicago again their biggest lead at 5. Matching it anyway. It's 6-11.
Actually, what you said is exactly right. Their coaching staff tells me that once he gets the ball, the no plays are called. It says he does what he thinks is best.
Rice has position on Pippen on the throw-in from Larry Johnson. And Glen Rice has 15. Back the other way in transition. Wennington misses the shot on the way in.
I don't know if Chief got a piece of it or not, but his defensive presence had a lot to do with the miss.
Well, Wennington says he got a piece of him anyway. Rice turns over Pippen. Parrish with the rebound. Stripped by Jordan, but Geiger recovered.
Great offense because the double man that time was Rodman. If you force Rodman to double, then he can't rebound.
37-38, Bulls by 1. Jordan rises. Parrish with his 7th rebound. Hornets can retake the lead. Gill for 3. Does it?
Good shot.
Kendall Gill has 7. Hornets take the lead 40-38 with 7 unanswered points.
Are the Bulls taking the Hornets a little lightly because of last night's confrontation with Houston that didn't live up to the billing?
Jordan rises. That's the second one that's gone down and out. Wennington, good fight over Parrish. And Wennington's got 6. 9 for the Bulls bench. Actually 12 for the Bulls bench as opposed to 6 for Charlotte. Tied at 40. Jordan and Gill battle. Gill's open for 3. Stuck it again. His career high is against Chicago.
It's a great play because he bumped Michael Jordan off and realized it. Took the open shot.
Hornets by 3, matching their biggest lead. Jordan. Wennington slips inside. Got a step on Geiger and scores his 8th point. 43-42. Hornets by 1.
Look to go inside again to Glen Rice, but Scottie Pippen, the best defender on this club.
Pick and roll doesn't work. Parrish working in the lane. And Parrish says, I don't need any help. 6 points for Chief. Hornets by 3. Pippen off the high dribble. Rebound lost in the lane. Loose ball foul. Charged against Chicago. It's Scottie Pippen.
Well, we talked earlier about getting the ball.
Chicago by 5, and it's time for the Harris Teeter three-point payoff. Tonight's entries from Walter Bryant out of Granite Falls, North Carolina, and Walter's picked Glen Rice to score a three-point bucket in the third. Now, if Glen does it, Walter wins $900 in groceries from Harris Teeter. Also, a little added incentive here. If Glen does it, then he will set a new Charlotte Hornets record for consecutive games with a three-pointer. Right now, he leads the Hornets in scoring with 17. But Charlotte trails the Chicago Bulls here 52-47, getting careless with the basketball from time to time. Chicago, Gil, has scored 7 points off 3 steals so far in this first half.
Well, the Bulls make you pay if you don't handle the basketball very well. They've used that successfully all season. But you've got 1 for 3 shooting from Larry Johnson, 1 of 5 shooting in the first half from Dale Curry. That's 2 for 8 from those two guys. The Hornets have to get more offensive production out of both.
Hornets actually faring quite well in the center production. 14 points. They've thrown George Zidek's points in there to that fray, and they're out rebounding the Bulls in that position 10-2. Kendall Gill starts the second half along with Rice, Zidek, Parrish, and Johnson, the original starting 5. Chicago going the same way. Pippen, Harper, Rodman, Jordan, and Longley. Rice has his shot spanked out of bounds. It's going to be Hornets ball with 6 on the shot clock.
Obviously, the Hornets believe in Glen Rice. His 8 of 15 shooting in the first half gives them reason too. Bulls had some trouble stopping him, so you go to him early.
And they hope that maybe occasionally, now with Kukoc out of the game, let's see who forgets to double when Rice is down in the low post. And now Larry Johnson burns a timeout. Will it be a full? 11:42 left to go in the third quarter. Looks like they're going to take a full timeout, or are they? It's a full timeout with 11:42. No, now they're going to say 20. Alan Bristow says, no, we'll just talk this thing over here.
Well, it's been a tough time getting the ball inbounds for the Charlotte Hornets. One of those steals that led to 2 points came on an inbounds play. Kendigo trying to get it inside to Glen Rice. Another time Larry tried to get to Glen Rice and they almost lost it, and now Larry has to call a timeout getting the ball inbounds. The Hornets need to work on their inbound situation a little bit.
And they've still got it underneath their own bucket with 6 seconds left on the shot clock, trailing by 5, 52-47.
A lot of teams like to pin down, give a back pick, and then lob towards the basket. The Hornets don't have the kind of athletes, or at least the size underneath to do that with.
Rice will pull the trigger this time as they change inbounds men. He goes to Parrish. Hornets can't mess around too much here. Shot clock with 3. Kendall now sees it and does not get it off in time, despite the fact he tried to create contact from Jordan. So the 24-second shot clock violation constitutes the 12th turnover of the game for Charlotte.
And that's a tough one. Again, you got the ball underneath your basket. You want to at least get a shot.
Scottie Pippen to Jordan. Turns, fires, and an over-the-back foul called on Dennis Rodman, trying to go over the Chief. That's his first. Team's first.
Well, that's the second part of the triangle offense when they bring the weak side 2-guard or small forward up to the foul line. That's Michael Jordan, and then you try to run your play. Michael keeps it. He's been keeping a lot tonight and getting his own shot.
And Rice for 2. Zidek had the rebound, knocked out of bounds by Pippen, and now they're going to say it's a jump ball. And George Zidek is saying in so many words, can't rookies catch a break?
Well, George has to be a little stronger. Scottie comes over his back. It would seem that it could have been called a foul. The big George is going to have to get a lot stronger at that upper body. Knock people like Scottie Pippen down. Knock him off.
Make that play, not a question. In the Hornets jump circle, Pippen controls the tip. Here's Rodman.
And Rodman's not an offensive player. You can help out.
Pippen is, though. Tip to Jordan. Rice on him. No points scored so far in the second half. Here comes Harper. Pick and roll with Rodman. Zidek can play out there all day, but Jordan is worthy of respect. 19 points for Jordan, the biggest lead of the game for the Bulls, 54-47.
And this is the time when the Hornets have to be extremely careful in this basketball game, particularly about not getting their offense going.
Johnson only 4 points in this game. Loops to Zidek. He gets there late.
There's only 3 shots in this game.
Kendall Gill stripped of the ball on the baseline with 4 on the shot clock, and the Hornets again face an inbound situation with not much time left.
When you talk about the Bulls and you talk about how high profile certain of their players are, Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, you forget how good of a defensive team they really are.
Shot clock shows 4 ticks left. There's the inbounds. Glen Rice got fouled.
Well, at least something positive happens.
And the foul is on Luke Longley. That's going to be 2 on Longley.
Very decisive of Glen Rice. Once he gets the ball, it goes right to the basket. No hesitation, goes strong. 3 Bulls converge, but he draws the foul on Longley. It's a good play.
Correction, that's his 3rd person. So Longley's got 3. He has tied with Jason Caffey, of all people, for the team lead in foul outs this year. Fouled out last night against Houston. Rice makes the free throw. Walter Bryant is hoping that Rice will back up behind that 3-point line and get him some groceries. 19 points now for Glen Rice. 5-point lead for Chicago.
At least you got to worry whenever you have Scottie Pippen on the weak side playing offense.
Worry anytime Jordan touches it, and Rodman gets the stick back, his 6th point of the game. He scored twice on offensive rebounds, once in the open floor on a transition dunk.
Well, the Bulls ran Rodman and Harper to that right side, and nothing happened. They changed and put Pippen over, and something good happens.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Harper. Guests appearing on all Hornets Network telecasts receive a gift courtesy of Perry Ellis, and a mighty fine one, I might add. Gill down low to Johnson. 9 on the shot clock. Zedic is open.
Bulls are very wise. They don't help out on Larry Johnson with the most immediate player. They run away from Zedic and force Zedic, who's standing out very high, to make a jump shot.
Rodman has 6 rebounds. Pippen misses the shot. Rodman gets his 7th.
We talked about Zedic being strong there. Again, Steve, he's got to be strong on the rebound.
3rd offensive rebound for Rodman. Jordan whirls. Longley attacks, scores, and a foul is going to be on Zedic.
It's a very critical time in the ball game, and Coach Allen Bristow has to really make sure that the game does not get away from him in the next 3 minutes.
That's the 4th personal on George Zedic, who comes to the bench.
Michael Jordan just starting the action, but this is a nice pass by Dennis Rodman. Takes baseline and gives it back to his teammate Longley for the basket.
Zedic picking up his 4th. Matt Geiger getting set to come in. Longley on the line for the 3-point play. He's a 78% free throw shooter, and Chicago now has built up a 9-point edge. Allen Bristow looking on, wondering what can shake his team into its offense here as Longley gets his 5th point of the game. 10-point lead, first double-digit lead of the night. They've got a whistle and a foul, and it's on Rodman. That's 2.
Bulls smell blood as we talked about this next 3 minutes being critical. Look at the pressure they're going to put on right now. They believe it's possible to end this game early.
Johnson gets doubled. Geiger on the wing. Wanted Parrish, takes it in. Hornets have their 3-point threats arrayed on the perimeter.
Not a lot of movement away from the ball, though, Steve.
Here's Parrish looking down low. Overshot it. Johnson with the rebound. Shot clock still whirring, but Matt Geiger scores inside and pays it off. 59-51.
Nice play by Geiger. That's the first miss by Robert Parrish tonight. He was 3 for 3 in the first half.
Bulls by 8. Pippen. Bank is too strong. The stick back is good by Dennis Rodman, who has 8. That's his 4th offensive rebound.
Got to keep him off the boards. If you make them miss the first shot, you've done a good job. Get the ball.
His 8th rebound all told. 3rd time he scored on the stick back. Bulls by 10. We got a whistle. And it's an illegal defense against Chicago. That's going to be their first. First of the game for the Bulls at the 8:15 mark.
I think it was Rodman trying to help out a little too much.
Hornets get a fresh 24 and the ball side out. Charlotte playing 3 of their next 4 here at home. Here's the shot off the wing. Glen Rice. 21 points for Glen Rice. Hornets now trail by 8. Rodman loses it. Turnover. Here comes Geiger. And Pippen with the foul. That could be his second flagrant.
Got his hands on the ball. And you wonder, is there any rule about 2 flagrants?
Now they're going to call it a 2-shot foul.
Good recognition by the Hornets and nice lead out by Kendall Gill. Geiger trying to finish strong, and Scottie Pippen, he gets contact with the ball. You see the lead pass. Geiger goes up strong, but Pippen comes up really hard behind. He does get contact, hand on ball, so I think that takes away the flagrant category.
Geiger on the free throw. 61-54. Hornets trim the lead to 7.
And we talked about that 3-minute stretch. This is where you stay in the ball game. Give the Bulls something else to think about.
It's the 6th point off turnovers for the Hornets. 61-55. Bulls in the lead. Michael on a highlight film.
Well,
Count the basket. Rice with his 3rd.
the Hornets got a little confused there on the defense, and everybody turned their back. Chief was going away from Michael. Larry was going away from Michael. Now watch as Larry Johnson leads. Larry leads. He doesn't see it. Chief is watching Glen Rice's left, and everybody's on the film.
Either there was a mix-up where they said, I don't want to get in this poster. And the Hornets now want a timeout. Hornets have called a timeout with 7:37 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Hornets trail by 9, 64-55 in the 3rd. Trying to get into their offense here with 8 seconds left on the shot clock after the timeout. 7:25 left to go here in this 3rd quarter. 7 on the shot clock. Gill trying to get either a shot or contact, but a shot blocked by Harper. And it's taken by Rodman for his 9th rebound. Here comes Pippen and a foul on Michael Adams.
Hornets offense certainly wasn't balanced that time, and it was a difficult shot by Kendall Gill, just trying to make sure he got his shot off before the shot clock went away. As you're looking at with Allen Bristow, probably wanting a much better offensive alignment than he's getting.
Pippen on the free throw line after Adams' foul. There's Coach Bristow. Pippen with a pair. He's got 8. Quiet night for him. 66-55.
Hornets starting the offense opposite Larry Johnson, and he's really not a part of the offense. They're going to have to get him involved a little bit more.
Only 3 shots for LJ tonight. Chicago's done a nice job keeping him out of the play. 10th rebound for Dennis Rodman.
You know, you can use him as a decoy, but he certainly has to be a threat. It's too big a part of your scoring not to at least get more touches and more offensive looks than that.
But he can't get any looks when he's playing defense. Chicago now draining the clock a little bit. Pippen for a 3. Ooh, big shot there by the Bulls, who now have their biggest lead of the game, 13-69-55 with 6.5 to play in the 3rd. Gill with a clear path. Geiger throws it away.
Well, Larry's in the lane. Geiger sees him, and then Larry realizes he's been in there too long. Geiger recognizes Larry's there after he's leaving.
Jordan. Rice boards the miss. Geiger tries to make good on the turnover. Can't get the touch right. Rice can't get the rebound. Here's Pippen. Pippen turns against the double team. No one to pass to.
You're going to have to talk about Larry Johnson not getting the ball because you need him to be on offense more.
A whistle and a foul coming up on Larry Johnson. 4th on the team, the first personal on Larry Johnson. Coming to the sidelines, Matt Geiger. Going in is Raphael Addison, and the Hornets really get small now. Rice had only 3 field goal attempts this quarter. And much to Walter Bryant's chagrin, none from 3-point range. That's early yet. About halfway to go. Here's Longley to Pippen, past the overplay by Gill. Jordan. And a foul coming up. And it's on Larry Johnson. Bulls have had the ball, Gill, for almost a minute down here.
And I'm going to say the game is beginning to slip away because the Bulls have been able to just take their time, any kind of passing. Michael Jordan misses and Larry gets his second foul in the same end of the court, almost exact same possession. But the Bulls aren't being forced now to take any jump shots. They're just getting the ball a lot closer for all their shots. So the execution for them is going to become even higher because they're taking higher percentage shots.
Jordan now with 23.
You almost see a lethargy setting in on Charlotte. They're going to have to find a way to break out of this bit of a drought that they're in.
Addison avoids the miss at the 9-0 Chicago run, and we got a whistle and a hand check out front. It's going to be on Jordan, and there's Scott Burrell. There's the energy that they need in those two players right there. Burrell out for at least 3 weeks, maybe more, with the dislocated shoulder. Muggsy Bogues with the bad knee. Two people who could inject a great deal of enthusiasm into this attack right now. Unfortunately, not available.
And they also could generate some defensive energy.
Exactly. Michael Adams on the free throw line. His first point since coming back. Dennis Rodman was the guilty party on that foul, not Jordan. He's got his third. Michael was 10 games shy of spending an entire season on the injured list since coming over to Charlotte from Washington. A trade for 2 seconds. Williams with a pair.
A little pressure by Charlotte now.
Harper faces. Longley makes himself available. Bulls work on this pressure quite a bit.
Well, they give the ball to Scottie Pippen. Again, he's been talked to by his coaching staff about thinking as a point guard, so he doesn't mind bringing it up against the pressure.
Longley moving on Addison, tries to pull his way in, and Addison has his second rebound. Michael Adams, nice ad-lib out of the defense. Adams on his way. Won't go in for him. Nice effort. He bats the ball out to stop the fast break.
Scottie, it's on the baseline.
And every time you see Michael drive or you see Michael have to stop, you worry so much about that hamstring, and you hope that it can stay strong for him for several weeks.
Last year of his contract with Charlotte. Here is Harper from Pippen. Harper's first points of the second half. He's got 8. 57-72 Chicago. Gill from the corner for 2. He's got 12. Larry Johnson has not scored since the second quarter.
You got to get him involved, Steve. If he's not involved anymore in this offense, you don't have a chance. Because when he starts to score some inside, it's going to free other people up when the doubles come.
Jordan over Gill. Count it. Goaltending.
Well, that's the confrontation I'm sure Kenny Gill would like to win. It's that moment in time when you find yourself one-on-one against Michael Jordan.
It's not a time I relish. If I were a player. That's why I'm not. Here's Rice.
That way, Steve.
Rice
win.
Bumped off the block, takes a running look at it and hits. Still not easy shots for the Hornets. 74-61. Harper in transition. From Pippen, 2 straight assists from Scottie Pippen to Ron Harper.
Point guard Pippen.
76-61 Bulls methodically pulling ahead. Rice with 3! And Glen Rice has set a new Charlotte Hornets record of 30 consecutive games with a 3-pointer and has made $900 in groceries for Walter Bryant of Granite Falls, North Carolina. All in one big shot for Glen Rice. Congratulations, Glenn, and congratulations, Walter. Stop by any Harris Teeter and register at the Coca-Cola display for the Fly with the Hornets 3 sweepstakes. Lucky fans have a chance to win tickets to the NBA All-Star Game in San Antonio, plus Hornets game tickets. Stop by and register at your nearest Harris Teeter anytime through February 13th, and no purchase is necessary. Larry Johnson, only field goal at the 7:15 mark in the first quarter. He has only 3 attempts on the night. He has 4 points.
Bulls got Kukoc in there now. They get a little bit smaller, but they spread the floor. They try to spread the floor and then drive people down inside like that.
Pippen. And for a rare chance he misses. Addison can't track down the rebound.
Pippen wants a foul, but the Bulls with Kukoc, because he can handle the ball so well and can shoot so well from outside, will try to spread the floor and then dive people into the lane.
Pippen looking on the inbounds. Almost stolen by Harper. or rather by Adams. Here's Pippen, low post. Kukoc sets up a three. Curry gets the rebound. Ahead, his pass for Addison is intercepted by Kukoc on the turnover. Pippen squares for a pass down to Kukoc, who finishes. 2 more points off turnovers right there as Kukoc gets his 5th basket of the night.
It's about the 3rd assist for Pippen this quarter, I think.
78-64, Chicago by 14. Rice, nice changeover. Missed the shot, however. Pippen now with a rebound.
And he'll play the point.
14-point lead for Chicago. Here's Kukoc down the lane. Rodman free. Rodman with 10. Kukoc on the assist, 80-64. A pull-away frame here for the Bulls.
And they're making layups. They're getting easy shots for the Bulls.
Michael Adams gets his first field goal. 4 points for Adams. 80-66 Chicago.
And Charlotte's not doing anything to take them out of their offense now. The Bulls are just taking their time, making easy passes, and no, you got to defend the passer too.
Here's Johnson with the block on Kukoc. Curry now trying to hurry into front court. Adams squaring for 3. In and out. Johnson tried to stick back. Addison lays it on the rim. Raphael Addison. 80-68 as Addison makes his first field goal. He's struggled this year with playing time. Hasn't seen the light of day off the bench with 19 games not playing because of a coach's decision. His world, like the Hornets world, turned upside down by the Alonzo Mourning trade. Here comes Jordan after a quiet quarter. And hung around there. Rodman with a tip. Rodman with 12. He has 8 this quarter. One of the keys we talked about, Gil, was keeping Rodman off the boards. He not only has been active on the boards, but he's sticking them back for 2s.
And the Hornets, they aren't defending the passer. You have to make passes difficult to go inside.
Addison with a 3. Harper controls the ball. 82-68.
Let's see will the pass be difficult.
Pippen. Harper. Jordan posted up on Curry. The help late from Adams. Pippen for 3. Scottie Pippen's second 3 of the quarter.
Effortlessly moving the ball around are the Bulls. They aren't worried about any interceptions or any deflections. You can't allow that.
85-68. Chicago in the lead. Curry backs up, looking for that space. Kicks to the corner. 9 on the shot clock. Taken by Pippen, who has taken over this 3rd quarter.
You notice the difference in the way that the Hornets offense went? Dribbles. The Bulls, no dribbles, just passing.
31 seconds left to go in the quarter. 13 on the shot clock. Again, get it to the post. Jordan backs away and hits.
Plays over Michael Adams. It's very easy.
Jordan with 27, 10 this quarter. Pippen with 8 this quarter. Rodman with 8 this quarter. 87-68 as the Bulls pull away in the 3rd. Johnson at the top for 3. Which would have been his first field goal since the 1st quarter. The 3rd quarter comes to an end. Chicago pulls away with a strong 3rd quarter from its 3 principals and lead the Hornets by 19. Tough injury, let me tell you. Our Bojangles hustle stats show the Bulls forging ahead. They have an 8 rebound lead, 6-1 in steals, and the Hornets are still looking for their first block. The Bulls pulled away in that 3rd, leading by 5 at intermission. Their lead has grown to 19, 87-68. Steve Martin, Gil McGregor, Jerry Valancourt here at the Hive. We brought our studio show out here and everything to see this juggernaut known as the Chicago Bulls.
Well, 3 new players on the court now. Only Rodman and Kukoc remain from that lineup that ended the 3rd quarter.
Matt Geiger with the foul. That's his 2nd. Team's first. Rodman, Brown, Kerr, Longley, Kukoc. This is Kukoc over Darren Hancock. To Longley.
Darren Hancock. We thought we'd see a little bit more of him early on, didn't we?
Thought we would. Kukoc with it. We have a 3-second violation on the Bulls.
Well, had we not shown him at the top of the show,
we wouldn't have seen it.
I'm telling you.
Saw him briefly there in the 1st half. Phil Jackson looking on. Will his team win 70? They're playing like they want to run the table. 26-3 pending tonight. Del Curry struggling with his shot. Storyline, Larry Johnson, only actually four field goal attempts in this game, and one field goal, that in the first quarter. Del Curry struggled with his shot. Inside the pass to Rodman. Addison turned, saw it coming, got his hands off it, but not in time.
You wonder if Larry Johnson is under the weather. There's no way of knowing that. We weren't told that he is. We know about a week or 10 days ago he was, but we have not been alerted tonight that he's been under the weather or anything.
Well, he aggravated a leg injury in practice 2 days ago. Rodman comes out, Judd Bushler comes in, but he practiced hard yesterday. So just the scoring by quarters as Bushler gets involved in the action, and the Chicago bench now starting to contribute in big numbers.
If you don't watch Chicago, you don't know about Judd Bushler. He's an excellent shooter, so don't be surprised if you see him slide up from the three.
Geiger turns. Bushler with the rebound. You know, in the first meeting between these two clubs, Bushler was the difference with 13 points. The Hornets were battling tooth and nail, going toe-to-toe with the Bulls in Chicago with a depleted lineup and only 9 people available. But Bushler came off the bench and provided a spark that helped Chicago to the win. Longley. A hook shot goes, and the Bulls now lead it 91-68.
And with this Bull bench club on the court, you will see the triangle offense.
Here comes Geiger's attempt at a dunk, doesn't go. I thought Longley kind of smiles. He thought his hand was in the cylinder, but they all just walked away.
Well, sometimes if it's incidental to the play, the refs won't call it.
Bushler. Randy Brown cuts in on Curry. Kerr with a 2-pointer.
It's a little too easy right now. The Hornets need to talk about defense here.
10:03 left to go here in the fourth quarter, and the Bulls are pulling away rapidly. 93-68.
Steve Martin and Gil McGregor.
Well, you have Matt Geiger trying to take a nice reverse dunk now. You'll see Longley's hand get to the nets. Doesn't have anything to do with the ball. And a lot of times the referees won't call it just because his hand was in the net, particularly if it didn't affect the play.
Here comes Darren Hancock. The up and under play is good. Hancock in the book for the first time. 93-70. Bulls out in front. 9:43 left to go. I'm sure Phil Jackson's going to try to get through the rest of this game without having to see his 3 stars again. As Longley sticks it right back in.
And you know, the only problem with that is you don't want to make somebody else a star who isn't already one.
Adams with it out front. And a foul coming up on Randy Brown. Brown, one of those pieces to the puzzle that Chicago picked up. Extra pieces, a Chicago native out of Sacramento the last 4 years, as Adams heads to the sideline and Kendall Gill comes on.
Another piece of the puzzle is Dickie Simpkins. That's one of Michael Jordan's favorite players. We haven't seen him today.
Addison from the wing. Jump shot doesn't go. Longley with the rebound.
Now, Raphael Addison, for the fans, you don't see him play very much, so you may be a little concerned that he shoots that shot, but that's his game. He came here to be a 3, and when Glen Rice came, it just rocked his basketball world.
That's right. Put him on. He was looking for big minutes playing in place of Scott Burrell. Longley with 11 points in the center position of the Bulls, now starting to sting the Hornets.
We've been without Robert Parrish for much of this second half.
19 points out of the center spot for Chicago. 9 this half. Curry can't make it go, but Addison gets the tip. His 4th point. 97-72. Bulls in the lead. Glen Rice getting ready to check in. We get a whistle and a foul coming up on Addison. That'll be his first. You know, at home or away, you can follow the Hornets on 1110 WBT. Next game in this homestand is Saturday night. Matt Pinto, Mike Jaminski bring you the action. When the Hawks come to town, the pregame activity starts at 7. The tip-off at 7:30 on the voice of the Hornets, 1110 WBT.
Well, Charlotte has to really turn up the defense as a thought process, Steve, even with people from the bench or whether it's the starters. And you just have to do that, get the energy back in the game, just playing hard.
Longley throws it away. A 17-4 Chicago run, keyed by 11 unanswered points at the front half. Put the Hornets in a hurt position here. 25 points back. Gill to Addison. And Raphael Addison has 6. Addison bidding for playing time. We said it before. He missed the first 2 games of the season, including the opener against Chicago because of a death in the family. And then when he came back, he saw his walker rearranged. Here is Kukoc, who was disrobed by Addison.
You know, the only problem with Steve is that what Raphael Addison brings to this club, they have plenty of. And that's jump shooters. As you see him get behind Kukoc, but he makes sure that Toni doesn't score. And so what you want to see out of Raphael, you want to see some defensive presence. You maybe want to see an ability to post up and pass out. Because the Hornets have a lot of jump shooters. In fact, plenty of people who can and will shoot the jump shot, and they need a little something else.
Kukoc has 6 points on the night. Make it 7. And the Bulls now forging toward the century mark, 99-74.
And they do it quietly, do they? They don't necessarily do it with a lot of flair. Just do it quietly. They destroy you.
Geiger, 1 too many steps.
So Matt had the wing, and he thought he could make a move on a slower player. Longley probably is quicker than Longley, but can't create the turnover.
You can make it look real slow if you take that extra step. Kukoc to the foul line.
Guess you need slower refs who don't see it.
Kerr on the perimeter, 9 on the shot clock. Kukoc puts himself in position. Geiger with a rebound off the miss. Gill has to pick it up in bad spacing.
Yeah, Geiger gave it to him in a position that he could very easily have lost it.
Hancock to Geiger. Misses the dunk, but got fouled this time. He'll get a chance to do it the hard way as Longley picks up his 4th foul.
And Hancock's trying to get a little energy out there. It's a nice touch pass. Kendall gets a good drive, and he sees Hancock, and this is a nice pass to the cutting Geiger. Matt couldn't finish it, but way to attack the rim. That's what you want to see.
4th personal on Longley, and Geiger misses the free throw. 75% free throw shooter, and here comes Dickie Simpkins.
Oh, Michael's guy.
From Providence in his 2nd season, averaging 5 points a game. Luke Longley coming out. Glen Rice is back on. And Geiger, 1 out of 2, has 9 for the night. 99-75. These 2 teams won't see each other again until April. And then they'll go at it in 3 days apart. April 5th here, April 8th at United Center in Chicago.
Do you think the NBA scheduling had something in mind when they set that up?
Well, Lee Burrell will be back hopefully by that time. Buechler recovers. Judge Buechler, 4 points for Buechler, 101-75.
Now you have to be careful if you're Charlotte. Chicago, they almost 3 games all year, so they're definitely for real. But you've got to keep your energy level and keep playing good basketball, no matter what the score is.
Kerr up court to Buechler. Kukoc. Into the corner, it is Kerr. Hornets have been dismembered by the 3 main cogs, and now it's the cleanup crew's time to finish off. 10 points for Steve Kerr.
And yet another offensive possession by the Bulls where they didn't take a dribble once they got in front court.
Kendall Gill's shot doesn't go. Addison gets the stick back, and he continues to build on a season high of 8 points. And he's closing in on a high in time and minutes played this season. Previously 11. And Addison now gets checked for the foul. He's got 3. He's using it up in all categories. Corey Beck getting set to check in. Here's George Zedek back on the floor. We have a timeout on the court. Called by Phil Jackson. The Bulls want to talk things over with 5:49 left. And Chicago out to a big lead. It's time for the Lowe's Leaderboard, brought to you by Lowe's, the leader in home improvement. And we've got some leaders on the floor that lead the NBA in scoring. None other than Michael Jordan at number 1, Glen Rice at 8th, and Larry Johnson 10th. Larry Johnson's scarcity of points tonight, though, will be a major story in this game. Only 4 points, none in the second half. Jason Caffey, the rookie out of Alabama, hot for traveling.
What may be as much of a mystery as that low point total will be a story is the number of shots that Larry Johnson did not get.
And what is it a result of? Good Chicago defense. Glen Rice. There's 26 points in this game. Jordan Zedek with the hook. Addison battles for the rebound but loses that one, and here comes Bushler. Simpkins on the run as this game hurdles to a finish with Chicago well in command, 103-77. Kerr, quick shot right off the pass. Glen Rice traps the rebound. Rice headed down the lane, and he gets fouled. Been a good night for Glen Rice just the same. Glen setting a new team standard for consecutive games with a three-point shot at 30 now. And he has 32 overall if you count the last 2 games he had in the Miami uniform.
And he's such a great shooter, you wonder, will he ever miss a game that he doesn't get a 3 to go down?
George Zedek. And certainly the opportunities with Charlotte are going to be there, as they like to feature Glen Rice. 103-79. With 4:44 left to go, the Bulls in the lead, in command, looking for win 27. Kerr. Zedek with the board. Corey Beck, the rookie free agent out of Arkansas, making his bid to get his first NBA points. Walked out of there mightily. Here's Caffey. Jason Caffey scores. 105-79 with 4:18 left.
These could be valuable minutes for Corey Beck. They may seem like wasted minutes in the big picture, but he needs to show that he can run the team.
Hancock. Yeah, the Hornets have a decision to make tomorrow as to whether or not they, Khalid Reeves getting ready to come off the injured list. He can come off tomorrow.
Well, you certainly have a different kind of a player with Khalid offensively. He loves to run the pick and roll, and they're a pretty good size with Khalid at the point and Kendall at the 2.
Thrown away, but we got a whistle and a foul on Raphael Addison. That's the 5th team foul on the Hornets now, so it'll be the penalty from here on out for Chicago.
And I guess also part of that decision will be how Michael Adams feels physically after this ball game.
And the other point is that January 8th is the guarantee date. Any players on your roster at that day are paid for the rest of the season. And that's it's not an economic issue, because you can bring a player back on a 10-day contract, and you would expect that Greg Sutton, who was waived a couple of days ago, is a candidate for that, and if Corey Beck were to be waived tomorrow, then he would also be a candidate for that. But Bob Bass, the vice president of basketball operations, is trying to keep all of his options alive as Glen Rice is caught for traveling.
Well, what had become a position of point guard when this season started, that was an overabundance of point guards. The Hornets have been struggling to find enough of them in the last couple of weeks.
Ankle injuries have beset Khalid Reeves and kept him off the list since, or off the lineup since December 11th. Bushler down low, 107-81. Chicago in the lead, 8 on the shot clock. Bushler all by himself on that play. Here comes Hancock.
Well, good job by Corey Beck. He was outsized, but he played good deep.
Blocking foul on Randy Brown. That is the 4th team foul on Chicago.
Oh, these can be some long minutes if you are not winning the game, but it's key minutes for players who don't get a lot of time. This is good for Raphael Addison.
And Corey Beck, who is still in search of his first NBA point, goes baseline with it, and he may get it on the foul line this time. The foul, I believe, is going to be on Dickie Simpkins. And here comes Corey Beck. An interesting story, Gil, in preseason. He was signed as a rookie free agent out of Arkansas, went undrafted, was co-captain of the national championship team, and really came on strong in preseason. I mean, really he sat out the first game, started 6 of the remaining 7 preseason games, had a couple of double-digit performances.
Well, just as you've documented on other instances, or you talk about Raphael Addison, you make a trade and you bring in Glen Rice, it certainly reduces Raphael's opportunity. You make a trade, you bring in Khalid Reeves, and it hurts Corey Beck more than it hurts Greg Sutton.
Stay with us after the game for the 4-credit post-game show. We'll give you all the updates from all the other NBA arenas as Randy Brown scores. 109-82. Jerry Valancourt will have all the scores. We'll have all the highlights and interviews right here at the Hive. 2:48 left to go in this one. Hornets trail by a big margin as Raphael Addison goes up and under and gets his 10th point of the night. 109-84.
Again, it gives him a chance to work out a lot of the kinks. He hadn't been on the floor very much in very many ball games, and he's got to get out there and just get acclimated to being back on the basketball court.
Randy Brown into the corner. Here's Simpkins. Simpkins shut off on the baseline. Randy Brown attacks. Ball is knocked right to Darren Hancock. Hancock up and under. Ball chipped in there on the finish. Good work by Darren Hancock.
We talked about energy. He's bringing it, and he's got to get the cobwebs out of his game. He's been down for 6 ball games, and now he's got to work it out.
He had a bad ankle sprain and then got the flu. They quarantined him to his apartment so he wouldn't spread it to the rest of the team. Here's Simpkins. The block by Zidek, but a foul on George Zidek will be his 5th.
But George certainly got in the game tonight early enough in terms of being in the starting lineup, and the Hornets decided to go big and had a couple of good situations, but I think Steve was just a little bit uncomfortable at that power forward position. He's got to learn that.
Yes. Simpkins gets 2. Next telecast now on the Hornets Network, January 11th, right here at the Hod. Grant Hill and company come into town, and of course last time these two teams met it was overtime in Detroit. You'll see it on many of these same stations. Randy Brown trying to finish the break. Judd Buechler can't, but we got a whistle and a foul. Oh no, there's a count. Count the basket.
Glen Rice got a piece of it after it hit the backboard.
Count the bucket, back the other end. It's Corey Beck's first field goal. He has 3 points in his first eventual venture into the scorebook in the NBA. Clock winding down, the final 90 seconds. Painful loss for the Hornets. Caffey turns and hits.
Well, they're playing against one of the better teams, or it could go down. This club wins 70 ball games as the best team regular season in the history of the NBA. So it's not a shame to lose to them, but you want to play a certain way whether you win or lose.
Basket by Addison. And a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Caffey.
Talk about the defensive pressure that you can apply to a team, and you try to take something away from each club you play. And the Hornets didn't take anything particularly away from the Chicago Bulls.
Addison with the steal. He has 13, but Beck leaves it, or rather Hancock leaves it behind. And now it's knocked out of bounds by Chicago with 53.6 seconds left to go. The 290th sellout crowd in Hornets history consecutively, the 3rd longest streak in the NBA. Actively saw the Chicago Bull team pull all their weapons to bear. Broke open a close ball game in the 3rd quarter as they closed off a strong 3rd quarter run with 11 unanswered points, a 17-4 run that continued into the 4th. Scottie Pippen with 8 points that frame. Michael Jordan with 10. Dennis Rodman with 8, including all of them off offensive rebounds. Simpkins, baseline, up and under. Caffey gets the rebound. Looks like the Bulls are doing all the rebounding here. And finally, Zidek steals from Kerr. Here's Beck with 19 seconds.
Strong move.
Corey Beck with 5. 115-93. Hornets are going to fall 3 games below 500. 11 seconds left to play. Here's Simpkins down the lane. Scores the basket with 3 seconds left. Nicky Simpkins out of Providence. Corey Beck will make no further attempts to score on this one as it hits the books. The Hornets fall for the 2nd straight time. An overtime loss in Detroit, but a bigger loss here at home against the Chicago Bulls as they fall to the team that is racing its way to possible 70 wins this season. They're now 27-3 as they walk out of the Hive with a 117-93 punishing of the Charlotte Hornets. One of the more lopsided games in this rivalry between these two Central Division opponents. Larry Johnson with only 4 points. A tough loss for the Hornets here, who have another home game Saturday against Atlanta. We'll be back with more post-game activities from the Hive.